Beloved, I'm genuinely glad you're here in this moment. If you've been questioning your worth or doubting your path lately, this message found you for a specific reason. The divine gently led you to this space, not by accident, but by careful design. Somewhere deep inside, you may have already felt it, that quiet nudge, that inner whisper telling you, there is something more you need to hear right now. And here you are, exactly where you're meant to be. So often we dismiss what comes easily to us. We underestimate the things that flow naturally, assuming they must be ordinary because they don't demand our constant struggle. We overlook our own light simply because it feels familiar. But listen closely. What feels natural to you is not insignificant. It's sacred. You are divine handiwork, created to do good works that were prepared in advance for you to walk in. Your greatest gift is not waiting to arrive someday. It's already alive within you, quietly shaping the world in ways you may not yet see. It's not something you need to chase, and it's not something you need to earn. What you're searching for has never been outside of you. It has always been part of who you are, quietly present, patiently waiting. And today we begin the journey of rediscovering it together. If you're struggling to see it clearly right now, pause and reflect. How many times have you looked at someone else and thought, they have something I don't? Their confidence, their clarity, their presence, their sense of purpose. And then you look at yourself and conclude, I'm just ordinary. But what if that very thought is the illusion? What if it's the barrier that's been keeping you from truly seeing yourself? The truth is, what feels ordinary to you is often extraordinary to others. That ability you barely notice, the strength you take for granted, the way you move through life without even thinking about it. Those are the very things others long for, because it feels natural to you, because it doesn't come with constant struggle. You assume it holds little value. But that assumption is profoundly wrong. There is power in what flows effortlessly. There is meaning in what feels natural. There is something sacred about the way you navigate life. Even in moments of uncertainty and self-doubt, you've been equipped with exactly what you need. Not just to survive, but to create, to uplift, and to inspire, whether you recognize it or not. The divine is already using your life to show others what is possible. You may not see the impact yet, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. Take a moment and think back. When was the last time someone complimented you on something you hardly noticed? Maybe it was the way you spoke with calm and clarity. Maybe it was the wisdom you showed in a difficult moment. Maybe they admired your resilience, your energy, or simply the way you made them feel seen. And yet you brushed it off. Why? Because we've been taught that value only comes from struggle. If something doesn't feel hard, we hesitate to call it special. But that belief is a lie. Some gifts are placed within you precisely because you were meant to carry them with grace, not exhaustion. You don't need to fight to prove your worth. You don't need to keep measuring yourself against others or searching for validation outside yourself. The fact that you are here, listening to these words, is not random. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You were never lacking. You were never behind. You are already enough, more than enough. You might be asking, if that's true, why don't I see the results I want? Why doesn't my life look the way I imagined? This is where the world deceives us. It tells us that if results aren't immediate, something must be wrong with us. But growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes a shift begins the moment you change how you see yourself. The moment you stop minimizing who you are and start honoring what's already been given to you, everything changes. Your life is not an accident. Your gifts are not accidental. The divine placed something within you that was never meant to remain hidden. Before you were formed, you were known. That purpose is still alive. Imagine standing in a dark room, holding a flashlight, convinced you're lost, unaware that the light has been in your hand the entire time. That's what self-doubt does. Your light has never been missing. It's simply been waiting for you to turn it on. What if you stopped second-guessing yourself? What if you trusted your own wisdom the way you so easily trust others? Because here's the truth. You are already carrying what you've been praying for. Even when you don't realize it, the world is paying attention to you. People are watching in quiet, unseen ways. They are moved by how you walk through life, by the tone of your voice, by the way you carry yourself through uncertainty. You may think you're simply getting through the day, but to someone else, you are living proof that growth is possible. You are an answer to a prayer you never heard spoken. You are confirmation that something greater exists. And yet, if you don't believe this about yourself, it becomes hard to fully step into what you were meant to be. Something is shifting right now, a subtle awakening, a moment where your perspective begins to change. This is not just another message or another passing thought. It's a call to wake up. Everything you've been searching for has already been planted within you. The world may have taught you to doubt that truth, to shrink yourself, to wait for approval before you move forward. But here's what you need to understand. You don't need permission to walk in your purpose. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others. Gifts are given to be lived, not questioned. This isn't about ego or self-importance. It's about understanding responsibility. When you finally acknowledge what's already inside you, you unlock something sacred, not only for yourself, but for everyone your life is meant to touch. For so long, you've looked outward, asking if you're enough, if you're doing it right, if you truly belong. But the truth is, you were called long before you ever learned to doubt yourself. Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is divine purpose that prevails. Your calling has never been fragile. So what happens now? You begin to notice. You begin to listen. The next time someone recognizes strength, wisdom, or light in you, don't dismiss it. The next time you feel drawn towards something meaningful, don't silence that pull. The next time you sense a nudge, whether the quiet thought, a stirring in your chest, or a sign you can't ignore, respond to it. Because the truth is, you are not missing anything. You are not behind. You are not inadequate. As difficult as life may feel at times, you are exactly where you need to be. The divine is already using your life to reveal what is possible. Take a breath. Let this truth settle into your heart, because what you've been waiting for isn't permission, it's realization. And the moment your perception shifts, everything else begins to follow. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone who is missing something and begin to see yourself as someone who already carries it, your reality starts to shift. Not someday, not when you feel ready, right now. That is why the divine is using you in this very season. Even if you feel uncertain, even if you don't feel worthy, even if you're convinced there's nothing remarkable about you, God has never waited for people to feel prepared before calling them. He calls first, then grows, strengthens, and equips along the way. And you, my friend, have been called. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who inspire you, the ones whose lives make you believe there is more of available than you once thought? Do you truly believe they always knew who they were becoming? Do you think they woke up one day overflowing with confidence, completely sure of their gifts? They didn't. They wrestled with doubt. They questioned themselves. They hesitated just like you do. But at some point they made a decision. They stopped waiting for certainty and started moving with faith. And that is exactly where you are now, standing at the edge of something larger than you can fully see, feeling that gentle pull, that quiet nudge, that inner whisper saying it's time. The question is not whether the call is real. The question is how you respond to it. Will you keep brushing it off? Will you keep telling yourself you need just a little more proof, a little more time, a little more clarity before you step forward? Or will you finally accept that everything you need has already been placed within you? Because the truth is, the only thing standing between you and the life you're meant to live is the way you see yourself. Pause for a moment and sit with that. Think back to every time you felt unqualified, every comparison, every moment you looked at someone else and thought, they have something I don't. Now turn that thought around. What if someone else is looking at you right now and thinking the exact same thing? What if your calm in difficult moments, your perseverance through uncertainty, your quiet strength has already inspired someone without you ever knowing it? The gifts and calling of the divine are irrevocable. What was placed in you was never temporary and never accidental. There are people watching you, learning from you, being encouraged by the way you live your life, even if they never say a word. That's why it's time to stop playing small. You were never meant to blend in or fade into background. You were meant to stand out, not loudly, not by forcing attention, but by carrying something undeniable, a presence, a light, a truth that can't be explained but can be felt. And the moment you stop resisting that truth, everything begins to change. This is how the divine uses you. Not only in big dramatic moments when everything looks perfect, but in the quiet ones, in the ordinary days, in the way you show up even when you don't have all the answers. Someone somewhere is watching your faith in motion, and to them, you are proof that something greater is possible. Grace is sufficient for you, for divine power is made perfect in weakness. You don't need to feel strong for heaven to work through you. You may still have doubts. That doesn't disqualify you. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And you are ready. Ready to stop doubting and start trusting. Ready to stop searching outside yourself and start recognizing what has been within you all along. Ready to step into what was placed inside you before you ever knew how to name it. So, what does this look like in real life? It looks like waking up tomorrow with a different mindset. It looks like noticing familiar voice of self-doubt and choosing not to agree with it. It looks like reminding yourself that you already have enough. It looks like allowing yourself to receive instead of constantly proving. Because when you keep telling yourself you're not there yet, not good enough, not capable enough, you block yourself from receiving what has already been prepared for you. The divine isn't waiting to bless you. He already has. Every good and perfect gift is from above. Sometimes receiving isn't about doing more. Sometimes it's about seeing differently. Changing the way you speak to yourself, allowing yourself to believe what heaven already knows to be true about you. Take this moment now. Close your eyes if you can. Take a slow, deep breath and ask yourself, what have I been ready this whole time? What if every hesitation, every doubt, every excuse has been the only thing standing in my way? What if right here, right now, I choose to trust my own divine timing? There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. You were meant to encounter this truth, and what you do with it is your choice. You are no longer waiting to become ready. Nothing is missing from you. Heaven has already gone before you, preparing the way, and now you are being invited to step into what has been quietly waiting for you all along.